In relay races, medals are awarded to the team as a unit rather than to individual athletes. Although each member receives a medal, if even one member is found guilty of cheating, all other team members are required to return their medals. In most cases, they are also required to hand back the prize money and bonuses distributed from that event. This is one of those penalties that seem unfair because it also punishes the clean athletes who had no idea that their team members cheated. So, in 2003, WADA adopted this rule of collective punishment. The IOC also made an example with Marion Jones' relay team after the Balco scandal.
Each time we catch a cheat, we progress in the fight against doping. So you have to look at it in a positive way. We have to continue to investigate, to eliminate the cheats and protect the clean athletes.
In 1999, Jacques Rouge, the IOC president at the time, claimed that their fight was directed towards combating the cheats in order to protect the clean athletes. That was the goal at first, but this rule would change some years later. In the course of this video, we'll look at incidents both in the 4x100 and 4x400 events, where collective punishment has been served due to one athlete being juiced, and also other cases where all four actually conspired to cheat. If the same punishment applies in both cases, in spite of the number of drug cheats in one team being significantly higher, then it suggests that this rule values consistency over fairness, holding even innocent teammates equally accountable. And that might be a problem. Throughout the World Championships history, there have been plenty of doping cases. And so, in order to combat this issue, World Athletics set up WADA in 1999, just before the Seville World Championships. They would conduct tests from that year's championships and be the watchdog of the sport in the following decades. That year, Michael Johnson was unstoppable in the flat 400. He had set a new world record with an incredible 43.18 seconds, and he would bring his excellence over to the relay event, where he would anchor Team USA to victory. In those World Championships, he got 2 gold medals and also set a new world record, one of the most impressive individual performance in World Championships to date. His other compatriots were Jerome Davis, Antonio Pettigrew, and Angelo Taylor. 9 years later, in 2008, Antonio Pettigrew admitted to using performance-enhancing drugs, EPO and human growth hormone, from 1997 to 2001, and so the whole team suffered. They had to return the medals awarded in Seville, but Pettigrew was never caught by WADA or IOC. It was his own confession that exposed his doping scandal, and so the rules had to be enforced. Michael Johnson lost both the 1996 and 1999 gold medals for the relay event, because Pettigrew was also part of the 1996 Atlanta Olympics relay team. Every relay team that Pettigrew had ever medaled in was forced to return their medals and as well got their results annulled. That case ended badly for the clean athletes, but it hit Antonio Pettigrew the hardest. He couldn't bear the guilt of letting his teammates down. In August 2010, he was found dead from a drug overdose, a death that would later be determined to be a suicide. His passing served as a grim reminder of the personal cost of doping and the far-reaching damage it causes. It also sent a clear message from the anti-doping authorities. Cheating would not be tolerated, even if it meant punishing clean athletes caught in the fallout.
A very well put out energy for Antonio Pettigrew. Did not bury himself the first 200 meters. Maybe had a little bit of wind down the backstretch.
In other cases, cheating wasn't just the act of one rogue athlete, but rather a whole team at work. And in 2013, Russia's women's 4x400 team became the perfect example of why banning the whole nation later in 2015 felt justified. After the championships in Moscow, the women's relay team would all test positive years later. Kseniya Ryzhova, Tatyana Firova, Antonina Krivoshapka, and Yulia Gushchina stormed to gold ahead of Team USA, but USA would be upgraded to first place after the Russians were disqualified. Firova and Gushchina were not first-time offenders. Tatyana Firova received a 4-year ban starting from June 9, 2016, and Gushchina was implicated in the state-sponsored program and stripped of her 2012 Olympic relay silver, and was eventually handed a 4-year ban that was officially announced on October 28, 2019. Ryzhova was found to have colluded with the authorities in the infamous Russian state doping program, and she would receive a 9-month ban the following year in 2014. Krivoshapka would lose the bronze medal she'd earned in the individual flat 400 after she tested positive for anabolic steroids. She lost the most out of the 4, having to return the gold and bronze medals she had earned during the tournament. In this case, all 4 deserved to lose their medals. The rule felt fair because it punished 4 cheaters, and there was no clean athlete caught in the quagmire. The following year, the same pattern repeated itself. At the 2014 World Indoor Championships in Sopot, Russia's women's 4x400 relay team was once again caught in the middle of a doping storm. They had finished 4th in the final, but that result would later be wiped from the records after Kseniya Ryzhova tested positive for the banned substance trimetazidine. It was the same Ryzhova who had been part of the 2013 gold-winning squad in Moscow. Her positive sample was taken on March 7, 2014. Just as the drug had been newly added to WADA's prohibited list that year. She was handed a 9-month suspension, and the entire team was disqualified from the event. Even though they hadn't won a medal this time, the incident proved that the doping culture within Russian athletics wasn't just a one-off case. It was a system that kept repeating itself year after year, and it would eventually lead to Russia's full-scale ban from world athletics in 2015. But unlike Russia, the next case wasn't as clear-cut. This time, the rule punished more than just the guilty. At the London 2012 Olympics, the United States men's 4x100 relay team was built to make history. Trell Kimmins, Justin Gatlin, Tyson Gay, Ryan Bailey. It was a lineup stacked with pure speed. In the final, they held their own against the unbeatable Jamaican squad led by Usain Bolt, finishing second in a blistering 37.04 seconds, the fastest time ever recorded by an American team. For a moment, it felt like redemption for U.S. sprinting, a show of depth and discipline after years of inconsistency. However, 2 years later, Tyson Gay tested positive for an anabolic steroids. When his suspension was announced in 2014, he had to return his silver medal, and under the same relay rule, the entire team was now disqualified. The IOC ordered the U.S. Olympic Committee to collect the medals from every member, even those who had done nothing wrong. For Gatlin, it must have felt like déjà vu. He had already served a 4-year ban between 2006 and 2010, and had worked his way back into the sport. This time, he was clean, yet still, he lost another medal. The rule didn't make exceptions. If one failed, they all paid. Trinidad and Tobago were upgraded to silver, France to bronze. It was a quiet reshuffle years after the race. What had been a record-setting moment for the best U.S. relay team was now annulled.
We will have the best possible arsenal of means to fight the cheaters in Beijing. We will be strong in Beijing in finding the cheats than we were in Athens or in Sydney.
After Nesta Carter's positive test for methylhexanamine came to light, even Usain Bolt, the symbol of dominance and clean excellence, had to return one of his 9 Olympic golds because of someone else's mistake. The rule was harsh, but it was consistent. It didn't care about reputation or innocence, only about the integrity of the result. And just like that, 2 of the fastest relay teams in history, the United States and Jamaica's men, all lost their glory for the same reason. One weak link was all it took to bring the whole chain down. And so, do you think this rule is fair? Personally, I would like to make some exceptions. If only one member is caught cheating, the others shouldn't have to return their medals or prize money. It would be more fair if the guilty athlete alone carried the burden. But the problem is, the entire team still has to be disqualified because of the one cheat. The disqualified team must return their medals so that they can be awarded to the rightful winners. At the same time, the Olympic or World Championship committees can't create new medals to award the team elevated to medal position, which makes it a tricky balance. It's a fine line between enforcing fair judgment and avoiding unfair punishment of clean athletes. What do you think? Should the rule continue to punish every member, or is it time to change it? And if so, how would the changes be implemented? Share your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.